What's up, you guys? Cameron Cornish here, your #1 real estate agent in St. George. You know, recently I was working with some clients that told me exactly what they were looking for. They wanted to find a place that had some small town charm, right? Something that had a lot of mature landscaping, big trees, a lot of yardage in their backyard for their kids to play. They wanted a community that they could bake goods and sell it to their neighbors. I'm talking even produce galore. A place where they were still in the city, but was also quiet. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of boxes to check, and it definitely was, but I knew exactly where I wanted to take them. I'm gonna take you over to the Bloomington area of St. George because it really does check all of those boxes. There's some pretty amazing real estate on the market right now in this area. I'm excited to show it to you today, but I'm also gonna highlight some of the great features of this Bloomington area. So let's do it together, you guys. This is Living in STG. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's get into it. Beautiful view of the entire Bloomington area from this bluff that I was able to get. First, let me help you get your bearings straight, okay? I'm going to show you a map. That way you know exactly where this is. You got Santa Clara on the west side, Washington, northeast, airport down here. But this area that I'm about to highlight for you guys, this is what we consider Bloomington, okay? It's right on the west side of the I-15, one of the very first exits that you'll take when you come into St. George. And, you know, it's really kind of splits. The Virgin River splits it right in half, you know, on the west side and east side of the Virgin River right there. The history of Bloomington is actually pretty amazing as well. When some of the early Mormon pioneers came here to southern Utah, you know, they settled this area called Bloomington because of the amount of wildflowers that existed all over this area. And at first, they started building schools and buildings and shopping markets and things like that. But, you know, they just couldn't figure out the whole floodplain, okay? And the Virgin River kept getting washed out, and they didn't have the right, you know, irrigation systems to manage it, and so because of that they abandoned it almost for 100 years. And then in the 1960s, the late 1960s, they started to turn this into residential communities, right, as soon as they figured out the whole Virgin River situation. And you know, because of that, you have some really cool history here of homes that have been built in the late 60s, early 70s, all the way up until present day. And because of that, you have some of these older homes, big mature you know, landscaping and trees and good sized lots that a lot of these homes are on as well. And then when you have homeowners that start to remodel these homes and flip some of these older homes as well, you get this. I'm going to show you guys a really awesome home that had just been recently remodeled, and they've really done an amazing job. This is 5-bedroom, it's 2-bath, and it's 2,750 square feet. They currently have it listed on the market for $729,900. Now, as we start to go through this house, you can see that virtually everything is new. New flooring, new kitchen, new roof even as well, and the windows look pretty good as well. I don't know if they did new windows, but the windows even look good. And these are the things, you guys, that you want to look for when you're looking at a remodeled home, because those are some of the big ticket items. If they don't do those things right, then it just causes a lot of problems later on. It's almost like putting, you know, makeup on a pig, you know. It just, that's what it is. But that's not what they did here. They did a really good job on this remodel. Pantry right here. Let's take you out to the side yard, which is probably one of my favorite parts of this property. Big overgrown mature trees right here. You know, there's just so much that you can do with this side yard. The backyard's awesome as well. I'll show you that in a second. Coming into the living room area right here, you know, and here's that backyard. You could put a pool in this backyard. Lots of room for whatever it is that you'd want to do. Now, this is the other side of the home where some of the bedrooms are, and the master bedroom as well. And I really like what they did, even in the bathroom of the master. I'll show you that in a second. But really cool accent wall. You have the slider that goes out into that backyard right there. And as you can tell, I mean, even this bathroom, all remodeled, all brand new, did a really, really good job on that walk-in shower. Okay, let's go upstairs. There's a loft area up here as well with a balcony attached to it. Really great views out the front of that house. But again, you guys, this just gives you a good idea of what some of these remodeled homes look like and some of the charm that you can get when you go with a home in this Bloomington area here. All right, you guys, now it's time to talk about some of these really cool features of just this Bloomington area that we've been speaking about so far. One of the first things that comes to my mind actually is the Bloomington Park. This is a park where it seems like there's so many active people here. There's trails that go all around the Virgin River as well, but this park in particular, pickleball courts, baseball fields, a lot of activities that go on at this park, so it really is a good one. The Virgin River is another cool feature that just kind of is special and unique to Bloomington because it kind of cuts this area in half here. But the Virgin River is about 162 miles long. It actually flows from, through Utah, Nevada, Arizona, eventually empties into the Colorado River via Lake Mead. But, it's awesome to be in this area and go on some of the hikes and trails. It just seems like even the weather cools around this area right here, especially in the summertime. Get out there in the evenings. Now, it's very important, this started happening a couple years back actually in Zion National Park, but make sure you don't let your pets or your kids put the water in their mouth. There's some really harmful algae. So there's your kind of a heads up on that, right? Just make sure you be careful. Here's another park that's obviously not as busy as Bloomington, but it's another one, especially if you live in some of these neighborhoods in the Bloomington area. Check out this park. It's called Christensen Park. If you're just looking for a quick playground or something to take your kids to, I think this is a really good park that you can kind of take them to, maybe even do a birthday party or something like that. Now, right next to that, Rainmakers Equestrian Park is here. What that is, it's just a horse boarding facility. So if you have horses and you want to board them somewhere, you can definitely do that here in Bloomington. That's one of the other cool features of Bloomington. There's a lot of horse property all around. So if that's something you're into, then you're going to feel right at home here in Bloomington. Okay, let's go check out this next house. This is another home. It's on the road Geronimo, which is another kind of cool feature of Bloomington. You're going to see a bunch of Native American names that kind of align these streets, and it's kind of unique to Bloomington, but beautiful views from the front of this house here. This is a little bit of an older home. It was built in 2003. As you can tell on the inside, it's had some updates and some upgrades to it, but it's just overall, I think, a super unique house because it has a pool in the middle and then the pool house slash casita. I'll show you guys that in a minute as well. But you have a loft right in the front of the house, followed by that bathroom. Over here by the kitchen, off to the side, you're going to have the laundry room area, and then next you're going to have the master bedroom. Now, one thing you're going to notice as you walk through this home is it's very sturdy, mainly because most of the home is made out of brick, and you'll kind of see that as you're walking through here. Travertine on the floor. Again, has some of that older style from the early 2000s, but it's still very nice, and it has a great vibe and feel to it, especially when you get into this backyard. Covered patio area, barbecue, and a spa hot tub back here. Now, if you walk up those stairs, the property line actually goes up that mountain quite a ways, and so if you wanted to do like a fire pit or something over there overlooking the entire valley, you definitely could. Pool right there as well, followed by this detached casita where you're going to have a kitchenette in here with the shower. So if you wanted to turn this into some livable space and even move somebody in it as a bedroom, you definitely could do that as well. Here's the garage portion of it, 2-car garage, and you can fit quite a bit of storage in there as well. There's some of the views overlooking the city. Altogether, beautiful location. All right, let's continue this journey here. Here's some other cool features of this Bloomington area. Obviously, living in St. George, you're going to have wards, LDS wards in just about every area. But Calvary Chapel Christian Church is actually located in Bloomington. That's my personal home church. That's the church that I go to myself. And so if you wanted to find a good Christian church in southern Utah, that's a good one right there. Also, one out of the 2 Walmarts in St. George is in Bloomington. So if you want convenience and you want to be close to some shopping and things like that, then you have access to that Walmart area. Last but not least, I can't forget the Bloomington golf course. This is a 18-hole championship golf course, stretches 7,000 yards, and it was built in 1969. But back in 2015, they did a ton of upgrades and renovated a lot of it, so it kind of really took it to the next level here. This is a private member-owned country club, but it does host events, and guests can play as well in tournaments from time to time, so keep that in mind. But really, really cool golf course here. I probably should have stuck that on my Living on the Green series I did. If you're into golf, check out my Living on the Green series on YouTube. Okay, next up, I'm going to take you guys over to Bloomington Ranchos, which is an area of Bloomington where you're going to find a lot of these older homes that have been remodeled and updated, and a lot of them sit on much bigger sized lots. This one actually sits on an entire acre. It's 5 bedroom, 6.5 bath, 5,400 square feet. They currently have it listed for $2,145,000. And as you can tell, as we walk through this house, this beautiful Spanish hacienda style of home, it's really one of my favorites. it, right? I love that banister that goes across the living room right there. As we, you know, kind of come down from the kitchen into the pantry, you have one area of stairs. They kind of meet upstairs. I'll show you guys that in a minute. But check out this master bedroom. Beautiful, right? You have these two, you know, flex rooms, offices right outside of it. But just look at the natural lighting coming in through these sliders. The bathroom just absolutely gorgeous. You know, even within the marble here, there's lighting underneath it that you can turn on and off. So the marble countertops just kind of light up. And I think that's a really cool feature. Overall, I mean, the archways in here really just kind of speaks to that Spanish style. You know, all of the doorways in here and a lot of the, you know, entryways into the hallways and things like that are all arched. And I love that style, right? It's hard to come by, but when you get a builder that does it right, you know, it really does bring forth something unique and homey, I feel like, right? So let's continue to go through the rest of this house. You have some bedrooms on this side of the home, and then you have almost like a secondary master over here. This bedroom itself, not only is it bigger, but it also has a full-size closet and an ensuite bathroom over here as well that will connect to that backyard. So if you want to use it for a pool house or something like that, you can definitely do that as well. Another cool feature is that spiral staircase going up into the loft area of this home. Now keep in mind, this home was built in 1991. So again, it's kind of cool that they've kept some of those things from the early 90s, like that spiral staircase. But of course, everything else is upgraded from there and remodeled. You have this beautiful bridge overlooking the living room and the front door entry area. Walking over that takes you into like this little book nook area that you can just turn into like a little paradise if you want some alone time. You know, there's a little reading room here and a little shelf for a library maybe. Now let's go into the backyard and really check it out. Obviously you have the beautiful pool and you have multiple RV garages in here, which by the way are all insulated, done with 2x6 construction, and there's even climate controls inside of them. Pickleball court, basketball court, just an entire oasis in this backyard here. But Bloomington Ranchos, you know, I'll tell you what, with all the new construction happening in St. George, these older communities are really becoming gems for people to find, so keep it in mind. Well, there you have it, you guys. This is the amazing Bloomington area, and hopefully I've done it justice today, just talking about all the amazing features of it and really what it has to offer for you. Hopefully this is an area that you would want to consider your home. So do me a favor, reach out to me, let me know what your guys' next moves are. I want to know because I want to help you, obviously. So do me a favor, text me, email me, call me, whatever you need to do to get in contact so we can talk more about your future plans of moving to St. George. Also, make sure you like and subscribe for more videos just like that. Appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.